Since Season 8, Shinobi Striker has had this new thing that, depending on who you're talking to, they'll say either made the game better or completely made the game play to win. And that is SS Plus weapons. And in today's video, man, I wanted to just give you a big rundown of all the SS Plus weapons that we have and let you know which ones are probably worth your money and which ones aren't, since we're probably just going to be continuing to get even more. And even in the recent dev letter, they announced us getting even more SS Plus weapons. And these things, especially going off of how many tickets it takes to get them, I think they've adjusted the rates, because I used to be able to get them within like 100, within like 100 tickets, 120 tickets, but with the recent weapon, I did like 260 tickets and still didn't get it. So it's getting a little bit out of hand, and I think it's about time that I actually break down these weapons, or at least rank them, so you know what you should spend your scrolls on. Sorry, not tickets. I'm thinking Ultra Rumble for some reason. But yeah, so I think you might be interested. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things, and let's go ahead and just get into this ranking.
Bring it on, little Suzuki. You want to see what true resolve is? I'll show you.
Alright, so if we look at the rankings and stuff like that, man, we have these different categories. I'll make sure to probably link this in the description so you can use this as well. But these are all the SS Plus weapons that we have currently. We have 15 of them, man. And I think the breakdown, I think healers have the most. So maybe healers or attack types. But yeah, we have 15 weapons, especially with the new release of the Boroshiki weapon, man. And our categories, man, we have S for must have, man. These are the ones that have to, you have to get these. These are just the SS Plus weapons that completely change the way that you could fight. A is slight advantage, meaning, they make the build slightly better, but not too crazy. You might still be able to find an SS weapon that's better. Then we have B, which these ones don't really just add a whole lot, but they're mainly there for style points and they look pretty cool. We have C, which is so you're a well, basically meaning you're just, unless you're just wanting to spend scrolls or just have it just to collect, there's not a lot of reasons to really get this weapon. And then we have D, which is this even SS Plus? Meaning it's not even better than some of the SS weapons or even S weapons. That's how we're going to be ranking this. And keep in mind, I have to grade this from a standpoint of thinking that we're spending about 200 plus scrolls to get each of these weapons, which is roughly about over 100 USD, because 50 scrolls, even 50 scrolls alone, I believe is like, 100 scrolls, I think with USD, I'm pretty sure on the store is probably like, I believe 50 bucks, something like that. So you're probably spending about over 100. I probably have the numbers wrong. I'll put the stuff up there, but it's expensive as hell to get these weapons, man. So when we go through it, man, first we're going to look at the Kurama Claw Edge, man. And this weapon, it doesn't have like any unique effects as far as like status elements or anything like that, but it is still a very nice weapon when it comes to the attack types. And I think if we're going off of SS Plus, I'd probably have to say the Kurama Claw. I will say with the frames, I think it has a slight advantage. There is an advantage, and some people maybe disagree with me. Beginning of the game, Kurama Claw was a lot better, but I think now you could still use the Violent Petals and other weapons and still get off pretty good without using the Kurama Claw. But the Kurama Claw does travel very far. It's heavy, has a far traveling distance, and it has some very good frames and a long animation that allows this to be a really good weapon. The next sword we have is the Demon Sword. This is the one that I actually think is better than the Kurama Claw, just because of the fact that you could actually burn some of your life to use ranged projectiles with this weapon. I think this is a pretty good thing with this, and it has nice effects. Now, it does burn your health, but I do think this one is more of a must-have over the Kurama Claw, just because of the fact that you can use that ranged projectile spam that can really hit somebody from a distance. I think that is what makes this weapon really good, so I definitely think you should roll for this one. Then we have the War Fan Dreaming Moon, and this one is really, they've made nerfs to this because it used to be crazy with the heavy. The heavy has such a long range that it's really good for just controlling objectives or just hitting people in any type of game mode. So I do think the War Fan Dreaming Moon is maybe a must-have. I won't even say slight advantage. Now I will say the Konohamaru staff actually can still get it. So actually I might put the War Fan Dreaming Moon right here at slight advantage, because you do have the Konohamaru staff, which has a longer heavy animation animation than the heavy of the War Fan Dreaming Moon, so you can power through them. There are quite a few weapons that have longer animations, but I do think you get like a higher damage output with the War Fan Dreaming Moon. Next, we have the new weapon that we got for the healers, which is the Ghost. This weapon is fine, but I do think the animation to actually get the health, because when you cut out their soul and you actually can get that full combo, you do get a lot of heals, but this combo is so long, and you're going to see that, you know, I've talked about this with people in the party and stuff, the boy Kid Mike and Kuhaku and people. A lot of the things with these SS Plus weapons, their animations are so long, and it makes it easy for people to interrupt it. So I do think this one has style points. But in terms of actually pulling this off in matches, a lot of the times, it doesn't tend to land just because of the fact of it's too long, man. It's too long to actually get that healing from cutting out the life, especially if you're doing like a team battle. This weapon didn't used to be that crazy because of the tracking and stuff, and it was just too slow. But now the Holy Ink Likeness, man, this is probably one of the better weapons. I do think this one is maybe a must-have because of how fast it is. This is a really good SS Plus weapon now, especially when you switch to the Lions, because the Lions come out really freaking quick, man. It's really good. Then we have the Inferno Style Flame Sword. This is one that I always end up coming back to. They nerfed it. They add things to make it better. This one is still a must-have just because of the fact that you also get a status element. I would still make the argument that this is still maybe one of the better ones for the range types. This one is faster. The Holy Ink Likeness is going to outshoot the Inferno Style Flame Sword, but being able to actually get that burn damage is really good, man. It's really good being able to get that. Next, we have personally my favorite defense weapon and what I think is the best of the SS defense weapons, and it is going to be the Inventive Destruction. And hear me out, yes, in the normal state it's not better than the War Fan Dreaming Moon, but once you press the triangle and you go into the single sword state when it's not double, it is armored on every single attack, and people do not realize how powerful that is in a fight. That allows you to win neutral in pretty much any fight with anybody. Now there is one thing about it, and the only thing about this weapon is, though, it isn't that far when it comes to charging. So if somebody's running from you, that is how they can get away from you. You do need something in this build maybe to close the distance when you're using this weapon, but besides that, being armored on all strikes and not really getting knocked out of anything unless it's like an unblockable, this weapon is crazy, insanely crazy. Monstrous Destruction, in theory, works really good with being able to charge the chakra and then do the ranged projectiles after. I won't say style points. I'll say this one has a slight advantage because of the ranged projectile shots, but these ranged projectile shots don't even break through the guard, so it's mainly just there to get some extra damage. This one does have some good combos, and it is nice just having the option to attack from range with the heal types. I still think the Monstrous Destruction is actually better than this Ghost Sword for now. The next, we have the Shikaku Spear. This one also just suffers from long combos and long animations, and it's a little bit slow. I'd probably say this one is probably in the style points as well, but I'd even go as far to say that maybe because it doesn't even have any special effects, it's kind of just like, this is a sand weapon that maybe could have just been something that wasn't even an SS Plus, to be honest with you, because there's no special effects from it. So I'll actually put this one in So You're a Well. This one, I mean, at least this one heals you. This one doesn't do anything. It's just you just having the Shikaku fighting style. So this one, yeah, you're just getting it just to get it. Totsuka Blade also doesn't have any unique special effects, but I will admit that this one does have a very nice heavy with a good amount of range, and this one does have some pretty good combos. You could argue, you could switch these ones back and forth on which one is the better weapon, but both of these ones are actually pretty solid. I think these are both solid weapons. Even though they don't have any special effects, they still end up being better than the Enchanted Ghost Sword. Next, we have the Kawaki weapon, the base wear, and this one is one of our first ones to go on. Is this even SS Plus? The way they actually use the gimmick of like charging this, absorbing the chakra and then shooting out the beam, it's so long to get this off that it just makes it useless, and the combos itself just aren't that crazy. I mean, they're fine, but they're just long and flashy and just really not that effective when it comes to compared to using the normal Enchanted Sword or even the Kurama Claw. So that's definitely one of the lower weapons of the SS Plus. I would not use my scrolls on this one at all. The Skyward Bow. This one has gotten nerfed quite a few times, but it is still good. I don't think it's the best range weapon, but I think it's still, because of how fast it fires, I do think it's... We have these two up here. I won't say it's a must-have. I'll say it's a slight advantage. I'll put it down here. I think you're still better off with the ink likeness and also having the Infernal style flame sword. And then I would probably say the Skyward bow is now down here. Before patch, when they used to just let you spam it, that's when it was up there in the S must have. But now it's a lot slower and there's a little bit more time where people have time to react to that one. This one is the Gentle Fist Palms, the 8 trigrams Tekko. This one I think it's very flashy and it's also very long as well. I think this one works really well if you have like a good clothing skill that's going to reward you for getting a lot of strikes. But as far as like in practicality, team battle and stuff, I think this one also just falls into the thing of style points. It can deal a lot of damage and there is a lot of reset possibility if you have the right jutsus, but it's just too long for a team fighting type of game, man. People are going to break that up every single time. We have the Hashirama sword next, man. I like some of the activations of the Hashirama sword, and also you can go into the Sage mode, and you have, I think you have like a little bit of some range spam. The range spam isn't really, I don't think it's that good. I think it's the tracking is a little bit, I still think the Demon Roar is a better sword to use over the Hashirama, and I won't even say the Hashirama is maybe better than the Kurama. I don't even know, even with like all the cool flashy things it has, if it's even better than the Kurama, but I will say that it still has a slight advantage. I put the Hashirama right here, but the Sage mode activation is pretty cool. Next we have the newest weapon, which is the Heaven Annihilation, which is the Baroshiki Kunai, which just came out, and you might be surprised by this ranking. I do like that you can shoot out Rasendans, which are pretty good, and you know, it's pretty nice that if you hold it you have a rapid fire, but the tracking is just like the Vanishing Rasengan. It's so ass, it's so bad. The damage is good when it hits, and the normal combos are fine, but it still just doesn't besides the style points, it doesn't make it anything better than the Infernal sword or even the Holy Ink likeness. So I'd probably say this one maybe falls into the area of style points because of the tracking with it. I'm not going to go as far to say you're a well. I will say maybe style points with this one. This one's probably a B. So there were two blades that I actually didn't talk about that I'm coming back to talk about later, and that was actually going to be the Minato slash blade weapon. This one I think falls into the same category as the ones where you're mainly getting the style points with this one, because there's no other extra effects besides having the flying rising movement, which can allow for some mix-up if you know how to use this properly. But as far as like comparing it when it comes to the Demon Roar and just the normal Kurama Claw, I don't think this weapon is better than those ones. And the other weapon that we forgot to talk about is going to be the 7 Ninja Swordsman sword for the defense types, and this one is actually a pretty good weapon with the sense that it does have a very good heavy. While holding it, you can actually send out multiple water clones that act a little bit similar to the Limbo Border clones, and you also get a defense increase, and you get to heal whenever your health gets low. I'm not the biggest fan though of how long it takes for that heavy activation to come out, and it is a little bit not with the best tracking, so I still don't think this weapon is better than the Warfan Dreaming Moon or even better than the Scientific Destruction. You could maybe argue the Warfan Dreaming Moon if you let me know in the comments how you feel about it. All around, this weapon's not too bad. I think it more so falls into like a little bit better, the A range. I don't think it's as bad as B, but I definitely don't think it's an S weapon. And I think this is where we're going to be ranking the weapons for this, man. Me personally, coming from my opinion, keep in mind this is all objective. This is all my opinion, so this is not saying that this is just right, but I would only probably spend my money on the ones that are in the S right here because of how many scrolls you're having to use. I would only use money on these ones, maybe these ones down here. If you need a healer weapon, probably the Monstrous Destruction or the Totsuka Blades. Any of these ones down here, unless you're just trying to look cool or for style points, I would just leave them alone. I wouldn't even try to touch or even try to roll for any of these guys. And if you're not a healer type, if you're not a healer type, then only stick with these ones. Y'all can let me know in the comments, man, how did y'all feel about my ranking of the SS Plus weapons? We will come back and actually update this as we get more SS Plus weapons, as we know they'll be coming out. And let me know if you'd like to see my thoughts on the next weapons, the next stage of weapons, which would just be the normal SS and then also the S weapons. Let me know if you'd like to see that with your likes and comments below. But hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video up, man, and I will see y'all in the next one. We up.